Hello, my name is Delara, and I need to let you know how I disposed of my sociopath sibling. He tyrannized my family for a really long time. Yet presently he is gone, and yes, I admit I did it. I caused him to vanish, since I can recall that I lived in steady apprehension about death. When my sibling and I played together, he would continuously put plastic sacks over my teddy bear, as though he was choking out it, and afterward he would point at me and giggle like I would be next. My guardians realized he was a detestable beast, which is the reason they never abandoned me with him in a similar room. He cherished drawing himself eating and executing others to compound the situation. More often than not, I was the person in question, so obviously I was frightened. I realized my sibling needed to transform his dreams into the real world, yet fortunately I had my folks and my canine Tobias safeguarding me. My sibling had attempted a few times to break into my room around evening time, yet Tobias generally dozed close to me. He was an extremely large canine. Sadly, that didn't save him from my sibling. One day my sibling pursued me, and I began shouting for help. Tobias promptly acted the hero and hopped onto my sibling, tossed him down and growled at him. Yet sociopaths like my sibling are unequipped for feeling dread. That is the reason you just smiled back at Tobias and said he'll lament this. Seriously, I realized it was my obligation to shield Tobias from my sibling. However, I bombed my sibling, probably baited him outside, and afterward Tobias was gone. I let my folks know that my sibling disposed of Tobias, yet they didn't exactly accept me. They said perhaps Tobias just took off. Yet the following day, when my folks and I returned from shopping for food, my sibling was in the kitchen cooking. He had never cooked, and for reasons unknown, he was gazing at me with his normal malicious smile. Then he took out a major backside and spat into it while gazing at me. The chase was strangely large. It took me a couple of moments to understand that he was eating the leg of Tobias. At that time, something exchanged inside me. I knew only one of us would endure. I was prepared to kick the bucket. I previously let my folks know what was happening. However, when they investigated the torment, they said it wasn't Tobias. Yet I realized they were deceiving. Caused me to feel good in light of the fact that a few moments later my sibling let me know how he had treated Tobias, how he had cooked him, and that he possessed a flavor like excellent hamburger. Tobias wasn't simply a canine for me, he was my dearest companion, and nobody eats my closest companion without equivalent retaliation. My folks were frightened of my sibling, yet I wasn't anymore. I knew whether I didn't make a move, I would wind up like Tobias. To safeguard myself, my father gave me pepper shower and advised me to utilize it against my sibling on the off chance that he compromised me. He said the pepper splash was sufficiently able to keep off bears, so it effectively take out my sibling. However, I cared very little about safeguarding myself. I would have rather not live in dread any longer. So the following morning I opened my sibling's entryway and threw a weighty book at him and shouted, "You killer." He quickly got up and pursued me. I ran out of our home straightforwardly into the timberland. My sibling pursued me, yet I had two benefits. I was 2 years more seasoned than him, and I had shoes on while he didn't. I was quicker than him, yet kept him close sufficient that he figured he could get me 1 mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. I had never run like this before. It was a wonderful and serious involvement. With one point I halted and wheezed for air. My sibling was not too far off, 5 meters away. I could find right in front of him that he had sat tight for this second for his entire life. However, I did as well. My father's pepper shower out, prepared to utilize it against my sibling and end this for the last time. My sibling began taking off from me, yet I was quicker than him and going to get up to speed when I fell, and he got away from now. I was genuinely frozen. I didn't know what my sibling would do straight away, so I hurried to my folks and educated them concerning my sibling and how he had pursued me in the backwoods. They realized I was coming clean and concluded my sibling was excessively perilous to keep on residing with us. That is the reason they attempted to place him into a unique office for rough and perilous young people. However, my sibling had no lawbreaker record, so they didn't acknowledge him in. My folks' just decision left was giving him into an encourage home, yet they said he was too hazardous and a danger to different children there. That is the reason they chose to keep him residing with us. Obviously we were undeniably terrified, and I was resting in my folks' bed from this point forward. I went through hours consistently figuring how I could dispose of him, and afterward I had a thought. Consider the possibility that I put a blade into his knapsack and call the police to let them know he was wanting to go after somebody, yet I realized he would blame me for setting him up, so I likewise put a couple of his drawings into his rucksack. Then during school I called the police and told that my sibling had let me know he needed to go off the deep end on his cohorts. The police quickly showed up and arrested him. Furthermore, Think about what now, he is in a young confinement office, and he will remain there for a long time anyway. His new home is just 40 miles from where we reside, and I'm terrified that he will break out of there and come to get me, since he has over and over committed to get back at me since he realizes that I had set him up. That is the reason I'm working on running and battling consistently. I generally convey some weapon with me in the event. My folks have likewise introduced an alert framework to our home on the off chance that my sibling attempts to break in and get me. It's unnerving, yet I know how to protect myself, and when I'm more established I'll simply move far away, someplace where my sibling won't ever track down me. Assuming he finds me, I'll be ready. As a matter of fact, I at times trust he will break out and battle me, then I could at last end this unequivocally. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Say I subscribe to have a chance to win $150. We'll ensure our team get back to you.